challenges facing this Cardinals defense?
I mean, they got a lot of playmakers. Got some savvy veterans in there. Obviously, Buddha is a hell of a player. Always run the ball. I mean, he's probably, I don't want to make any comparisons, but he a dog. So that obviously makes us have to account for him. And yeah, I mean, they got a hell of a defense.
What do you think changed last game that you can carry over to this game? We're talking about the team as an offense.
I mean, we just came out not on the same page. I can't really put my finger on exactly what led to us not being able to convert and make it happen in the first half, but I think it was just a little bit too much straining and stress. And like I said after that game, it was just a little too tight from everybody. And I think everybody had the right intentions and was focused, but it was just a little too much tightness throughout the entirety of the offense. So once we kind of loosened up, talked to each other, and just remind each other that we do this. Everybody here has made plays, so got into a rhythm and started making a few plays, and that's kind of how it happens. When it rains, it pours sometimes, from a negative and a positive standpoint. So we obviously want to make as many plays early as we can to set ourselves up for success throughout the rest of the game.
Where do you think that tightness comes from? Do you think it comes from a good place, like everybody wanting to make plays?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a certain level of maybe stress that some people feel from the pressure of obviously who we have, and obviously me coming here, that can add some more pressure. And I remind the guys, don't feel that, because I don't feel it, and I'm the one that should feel it, if anybody. Obviously coming back, play with my old quarterbacks, a lot more pressure on me to do that. And, for me to go out there and just play the game that I love and play for my teammates, that's what my focus is, and just want them to do the same. And when I speak to them, it's not me trying to just come in as the all-knowing. I just try to shed anything that I can on those guys so that it can help them in their situation and allow them to play free. And that's how I know everybody typically plays to the best of their capabilities, is from playing free and not straining in a negative way.
Davante, when you were coming here, when you knew you were going to be a Jet, that second half with you and Garrett, was that something you kind of envisioned that this is what you guys could do together with Aaron?
100%, yeah. And I knew the whole time it wasn't necessarily going to happen in the Pittsburgh game. I just got there coming off injury. Like, it was a lot of different, pieces, and we got to figure one another out, find out how you have a team or offense. I mean, really a team, but, I can only speak from our side, full of playmakers. Like, that doesn't always work. You see it in the NBA and, different, I'm sure, in soccer as well. But you got to learn to play with each other, and, that comes from the top, the coaches, figuring out which plays to call and how to space out plays for different guys throughout the game, and obviously working with Aaron as well. So it takes time, but it's something that people were a little impatient about, wanting to see. But hopefully now, I feel a lot more comfortable. Hopefully now this is where we can kind of take off as offense and get some consistency.
I know you only been here a short time, but just your thoughts on Malachi Corley, Xavier Gibson, and they'll probably be having an elevated role this week without Mike Williams.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all those guys are willing and able to get in there and make it happen. I've seen Zay. I mean, he's made plays already in his short career, obviously returning more than anything, but to have his first touchdown be from Aaron and to be a low ball away on the keeper like that, that's something that he can use as a confidence builder to, take him into his next opportunity. And, the same with Irv. Him having more opportunities. He's a big target, somebody that if he gets, the wrong guy on him, I mean, he's going to be able to do his thing as well. So everybody, on this offense is able to go out there and make plays, and that's what makes this thing exciting.
I know you wanted to play with Aaron, obviously, but how much thought did you give into what you and Garrett could be like together when you were, in the process of getting moved here?
Honestly, almost equally paid attention to something that we talked about probably like a little over a year ago, having the potential to do that. We sat down at dinner out here actually in New York, and just talking about, how big of a fan I am of his game, and he let me know that I was his favorite receiver, and different things like that, and we still talk about stuff like that. So to be able to work with somebody that obviously, if I'm his favorite receiver, it's because of the details and the things that I put in, which obviously he's interested in learning, because it only help him in his career as well. So it's real synonymous, this game is. So it's you see that sometimes the guy that's the icon ends up being a fan of the young guy, and in the reverse. So it's fun to work with him and see him work every day, and I'm definitely looking forward to this continuing.
What was the occasion you guys having dinner together?
Well, it was actually fluke, but just mutual friends. Ended up in we didn't end up at dinner together, Fluke. I actually reached out to him because I was in the area, but ended up kind of in the same proximity as a result of knowing some of the same people. But I just hit him up and told him he should pull up and just to kick it, and had a great night. Ended up spending a little time after dinner and got to know each other a little bit better. And it's only, I feel like as soon as I got here, we jumped right into it like we had been legit friends for a long time, which we've been acquaintances, but not to the level, we hadn't spent enough time together to really classify it as such. But being around him now, it feels real natural.
Did you say in season, off season? I don't know if you said.
No, it was off season. Yeah.
Both those two huge catches you had, the one, was it 4th and 1?
Yeah.
And the touchdown, were those both stutter and go?
No, they were just goals, like a fade, basically. Yeah.
It looked like you juked the corner nice on both plays.
Yeah, that's just some of the release game that I've built up over a decade of playing this game.
You touched on this the other day on your show about the brick and the impact he's made on you and your early impressions.
Yeah.
You gave him a really ringing endorsement. You've been around former player coaches before, so that's nothing new for you. What is it about him that struck you so much?
I mean, immediately what I was met with is just like first of all, a grown man that's not afraid of other grown men. And you come in this position and you were a position coach before. It's easy to just come in and be the likable guy, but he's not worried about being accepted. He want to be respected as a head coach, and that's something that I live by. And that quote is not something that he said. That's just something that I've always wanted to be as a leader, for any team, which is kind of why I was the way that I was when I first got here, with speaking to the team. So being kind of having that same mindset as far as that, I feel like that's where we connected. And just hearing the way he holds guys accountable. He'll turn around and juice up somebody when they do something, with positive reinforcement. So just being able to be that type of coach and saying, real stuff in, team meetings, and not afraid to call guys out, and also, like I say, pat them on their back when they do well. Like that's how you get, the team around you. And it sucks that, they haven't been able to, or we haven't been able to win more for them. But that's hopefully where we're headed to now.
You were talking about guys being a little tight before the game. Can part of that be having to dig out of a big hole, thinking, your team, 2 and 6 and 3, it's the pressure of that?
I think it's more pressure to sustain, success than to come out of a hole. Sometimes that's where you got to just look at it as, look, we in a hole, we got nothing to lose. So I don't think it's that, because, I kind of look at it the opposite way, but potentially. I mean, people are different, so maybe that's what a couple guys are feeling. But either way, I think it was more about just the focus of being, more celebratory in each other's success, and just celebrating each play and being in the moment. Because even since then, even times where we haven't done great, right, the Malachi dropped the ball short, like you saw the energy different. Like 2-3 weeks ago, guys would have been quiet, heads down on the sideline, but just after kind of bringing a little bit more attention to it and making them aware, I think that awareness kind of fixed them.
Talk about Garrett, with him being, or you being his favorite guy and all that.
Yeah.
As a vet, not that you need extra motivation, but when you are now with this guy every day practicing on the field, does that give you some sense of like re-energizing feeling, for you, and at this point in your career,
I mean,
he's looking at you?
It's definitely a good feeling, but I play like everybody's looking at me regardless. That's what, when you got a certain level of pride that you attach to what you do. I'll get out there on the field. I'm in warm-ups. I'm in warm-ups thinking that everybody in here is looking at me warm up right now. So, having just an extra set, like, I'm at practice. I've always been like that. I've always had a certain level of practice habits just based off of my vets. And when I came in the league, I had Jordy and Randall to watch, and they were finishing 80 yards down the field. It wasn't a question if I was going to do it. The rookie coming in. So having that mindset, it didn't really boost anything. But knowing that I have a player that's looking to literally watch and maybe mimic and learn things from me, like, obviously it gives me more incentive to get it in.
Like you faced with this Cardinals offense?
They present a lot of challenges. Obviously, their receivers pretty good. 4, 18, 14. 85, they tight ends, everybody pretty good, and that's just aside from their run game, their dynamic run game that they have. Connor, hard got a tackle, hard runner, and they get Kyler Murray, who he's a hard guy to tackle as well. He operates well in space and he can throw the ball. So they got a lot of challenges that they present.
So whenever you're facing a mobile quarterback like that, just kind of the adjustments you have to make as a quarterback.
As a corner,
Yeah.
you just got to be able to cover, keep covering. The down is never over. That's really what it is. You just got to keep covering.
What about facing Marvin Harrison Jr.? The challenges there.
Man, I feel like he's ascending well. Since he first got in this league. I feel like everybody who I go against is a challenge. It's the NFL, everybody good. So I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Have you asked Garrett at all about him?
No.
Just we're at the halfway point of the season. Just how would you assess the year that you've had so far?
I feel like I had a pretty decent year, this far. Obviously, the defense is a little different. Team's been trying to attack us different. Obviously they like running the ball on my side. I got a few missed tackles, but shit, it happens. That's just really what it is. I feel like what people don't understand, like I've had more tackling attempts this year than I've had in my past few years. But I feel like I've been doing pretty well in coverage. I'm always trying to get better in everything it is that I do. So that's me. Period. Point blank.
Why do you think people have been attacking you a different way this year?
Man, that's just what they do. I don't know. That's just what they doing. Hey, that's what it is.
What's the challenge for a corner as far as more of a risk of pass interference when the quarterback is running around a lot and you have to cover longer?
Obviously, it's a challenge because you're just chasing somebody, and it's like, do I just keep being physical, obviously the quarterback scrambling, or do I just let the receiver run? Like last week, the Texans, when Robert Woods caught that pass, he ran like an end-breaker, but then when he seen C.J. Stroud scrambling, then he just started running away from me. So it's one of those things like, all right, I just got to run, So it's always a challenge. It's corner. Corner always going to be a challenge when it comes to everything, tackling, covering, everything. That's cornerback.
What happens to the assignments after the play breaks down and the guy's running around for 7, 8, 9 seconds? You had an initial assignment. What happens to the assignments on the second play?
You just got to plaster. You just got to look your man up, and if it's zone, find the closest man near you. Guard him. Try to stop him from catching the ball.
Pretty good?
Thank you.
What do you have for an encore? Catch with the feet or what's next?
Hopefully just a dub. We got to find a way for Saxon win. So, I'm excited for this week going to Arizona. I love Scottsdale, and let's go down there and play some good football. Hopefully.
Davante was talking to us about you guys hooking up last year after the season. I don't know if it was dinner or not.
Yeah.
You were talking to each other. Tell us about that, and now that you guys are teammates together.
Little did we know that this is what it was going to come to at that time. You can obviously hope and what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. We had threw it out there. Is kind of what I'm saying. We threw it out there that we might play together, but then all of a sudden it come full circle, and here we are. So, really, I was just trying to pick his brain about Aaron, and talk about his connection. He's one of my favorite players, man, growing up, and he knows that. And I wasn't shy to tell him that when I first met him at that dinner. And I think, just because of that and the way he felt about my game, we really had a enlightening convo for me, and he was able to, drop a lot of knowledge on me. So, with him being here now, it just took the next step. And every day I come in, I'm thankful to be able to have someone like that I can pick their brain and just see how they go about their business, watch them practice, and really just steal moves, man. That boy is cold, and it's been like that for a long time, and stuff like that doesn't happen by accident. So,
how much do you think you guys help each other, though? Like the attention, he gets the attention you get, that you're both on the field at the same time?
Yeah, I feel like if you're a good receiver, you got to pride yourself on not being guarded one-on-one, and then if you is guarded, you just find a way to make the play. It's a simple job, catch the ball. So if you can find a way to make it so you can always get those one-on-ones, that's what it's all about. And all of a sudden, you can put the game, the film is on yourself, right? You can watch it with, like a pure feeling just because you're getting a one-on-one and it's your job to win it. So that's kind of how I feel. It's been awesome having him around for a multitude of reasons, but that's definitely one. The attention that requires from the defense.
What did you learn about him during that dinner that you didn't know before?
I mean, you kind of put people on pedestals a little bit, but we all just human, right? So just chopping it up with him, realizing that he's a fan of the game too. He's got guys he's a fan of, and just having those convos, man. Those convos that make you realize that we are just football players. We love what we do. We're blessed, and I could kind of realize that he was the same way, had that same mindset as me.
Is it manifest?
Yeah.
Is that the word you're looking for?
Yeah, manifest. That might have been. I kind of forget now, but that sounds about right. That sounds about right. Yeah.
What has your week been like after, obviously, the catch?
Just another week. Just another week. A lot of people reaching out and all, but you gotta take that for what it is and keep rolling. Because the reality of it is, as soon as you do something wrong, they on the other side. So I never look into it too much, and whether it's good or bad, it's just let's roll. Get on to the next week because that's how you make a name for yourself in this league. Do it consistently.
Was it fun though? Because some of the guys had T-shirts too with the one catch that I was talking about. Winning fun, bro. That's all. Just win. Let's win. So that's all. I'm blessed that they was wearing the shirts, and I appreciate them. I have fun winning personally, so that's all.
Cardinals have a Ohio State Buckeye on the other side.
Yes, sir.
So just talk about your relationship with him.
Yeah, man. I know Marv. I got the honor of knowing Marv. I think he was just there for my junior year, though, my last year before I came out. And just the way he came into the building, the way he carried himself, the work ethic he had, and then obviously the way he played, man. He was a dog from day one. And as a guy that had been at Ohio State for 3 years and knows what they demand out of the guys, he came in with all of that, which is rare, man. I know I was the opposite a little bit. So I can really appreciate Marv and the strides that his career has taken because he's so deserving. And then watching him, just through this early part of his NFL career is a lot of the same, man. And the more they get him involved, I think the better that offense would be. And it's a matter of time before they, do that. I hope it ain't on us, but I'm excited to see that boy. And they got Paris Johnson as well, so I'm excited to see Paris. All in all, they got a good group of Buckeyes over there, and we all stay together.
You probably encounter a lot of former teammates every week with how many pros Ohio State puts out. Every game, you're seeing old friends.
Yeah, for sure. When you go to somewhere like Ohio State, that's kind of the goal. You want to put yourself among elite, elite company. The brotherhood is real there, so every week that we do have that, we try and stick together, we try and take a picture, we try and do something. But, yeah, man, it's special. That's why you choose to go to a place like that, and it doesn't happen by accident. You surround yourself with people that have the right mindset and want to be successful, play football the right way. All of a sudden, you might find yourself among them. So I'm blessed to call Ohio State my alma mater, and I'm excited to see all the guys every week.
When you met with Davante, was that the first time you talked to him ever, or did you speak last year in Vegas, maybe?
Yeah, that was the first time we had met in person. I just was, like I said, fan of his game. Watched a lot of his games with Aaron growing up, and just a fan of his game, man. So to be able to chop it up in person at the time, I had no clue of anything. Jackson was with me, Smith-Njigba, and I know we was both just excited to be there and have some convos and just be able to talk about things besides football because it all just correlates. It truly does. So, yeah.
Do you ever think that down the line there are going to be some young guys coming in that are going to want a similar thing with you someday?
I don't think about it. I think if you think about it, all of a sudden it's, you count your money before it's in your pocket. I got to keep going about this stuff the right way, and it'll just happen, man, for real. So I'm going to try and keep it up and let this stuff take care of itself.
You got a few young guys here, and Xavier Gibson and Malachi Corley. Just talk about what you've seen from them to be able to give you some confidence for Sunday.
Yeah, man. I seen, first off with Zay, I seen him do it for 2 years now, put in work and against all the odds and prove himself. From the first game he ever got an opportunity at this place, man, make a game-changing play, win the game for us in overtime last year. And as far as the receiver reps, he's been like sniper mentality with it. He hasn't got an abundance of them, but when he does, he goes out there with the right mindset, makes the play, and just the way he practices, the way he carries himself in the meetings, the questions he asks. He's a curious dude, man. He's always trying to pick my brain, pick Tay brain, and I know as guys that have once been in his shoes, as far as being a young guy in the league, you can appreciate that. So yeah, man, I'm excited for Zay to get the opportunity to go out there and get some more reps because he deserves it, man, and he's a baller. And then with Kai, I know he's been hungry for this. He's been hungry for this, and we're all excited to see what he can do out there on Sunday. He goes about, scout team the right way, gets those DBs ready to go, makes plays, and he's a physical runner, right? So all things that can help us. They can help us, and he almost got in the end zone this week. I'm sure he's gonna go make up for that, and I'm excited for him to get his opportunity to make up for that because I know how he feels.
Here with Hassan Reddick. Hassan, Coach Ulbrich was saying that he felt last week that you were looking more comfortable on the field, getting used to this style of defense more. After 2 games, how would you assess how you feel and how much more comfortable you are?
Pretty much on par with what Coach Brick said. Just my thing was getting around the guys, getting to know them and bonding with them. So, once we get on the field, we can continue that same relationship. Other than that, just learning the defense and, getting my legs back up under me, getting back to playing football. It's been fun. We got that dub last week, so I was happy to see that as well. Now it's just about continuing to build from this point forward.
Now, not only did you have 8 pressures last week, you also got the half sack. How did it feel to kind of get that under your belt in the new team colors?
It felt great, just for myself more than anything. On the fact that I knew I felt like a lot of people thought that I would come back and, need 3 to 4 games to adjust and to get back to game speed, but to come in, be able to play 2 games in 10 days, just a testament to the work that I put in on the off season. My trainer, Reds, he does a great job, and that's pretty much it.
Now you guys are heading out west to the desert to a team that you're all too familiar with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, what have you been seeing on tape from this offense that stood out to you?
Kyler and the back 6, Connor, they're just going. They're doing their thing. They're definitely, what makes the offense go. Kyler, he's a tremendous talent. But always have been, always thought that of him. And he's playing at a high level right now. And then James Conner, he's going crazy. He's running the ball very, very well. So we just got to contain those guys, stop them, and see how the game goes.
For your position specifically, how much more difficult does it make it when you have to face a quarterback that is as mobile as Kyler is?
That makes it extremely difficult because, he's not a statue in that pocket. He feels any type of pressure, he's going to run. He's fast, he has quickness, and he's small, so, he's shorter, so it makes that a little bit much harder. It makes it that much harder to get him down. But I always look forward to a challenge. I always love going out in AZ and just, seeing those familiar faces and getting to play against the guys.
You played with Kyler for 2 years. Do you feel like you can use that to your advantage at all?
Most definitely. I feel like, even watching tape, I see some of the similarities from when I was there. But I most definitely feel like, he's more of a seasoned player from when I was there. He's more of a veteran. So I'm just taking those things into account and building my game plan on, as far as how can I help the team contain him and make sure that he's not going crazy.
Last one for you. You talked about getting your feet under you a little bit more. Is there anything specifically from the first 2 games that you've played here that you want to maybe take and build on for this game specifically?
Everything, my whole game. I'm one of those guys that believe, no matter how good of a season you're having, you're never at your best. There's always something that you can improve on. So whether it's in the running game, whether it's in the pass rush game, whatever it is, even it being, I feel like I've been a great teammate since I've been here, but even if it's being a better teammate, I just feel like any part of my game can be worked on. I'm never content, with my play. I always want to be better, and I feel like there's always room to improve.
Awesome. Appreciate the time, Hassan.
I appreciate you. Thank you.